So just before the Trump shooting, Bernie Sanders released an op-ed in the New York Times. And the whole point of the op-ed is, as you see on the screen here, Joe Biden for president. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this. Now, by the way, since the attempted Trump assassination, he's updated the article and, added the sort of stuff you'd expect about we need civility and we need to not kill each other and all that stuff. Now, why is he doing this? I'm going to get to that at the end. Okay, I'm going to tell you at the end why he's doing this. Okay, what his motive is in writing something like this. But let's go ahead and dive into it. I'll walk you through it. So like I said, he starts out with an update on the Trump thing, and then he goes into like, look, I have plenty of disagreements with Biden. I'm for Medicare for all. He's not, et cetera, right? And then he gets to this. But for over 2 weeks now, I'm not going to do Bernie's voice the whole time. That's too taxing. The corporate media has obsessively focused on the June presidential debate and the cognitive capabilities of a man who has perhaps the most difficult and stressful job in the world. The media has frantically searched for every living human being who no longer supports the president or any neurologist who wants to appear on TV. Unfortunately, too many Democrats have joined the circular firing squad. All right, so right off the bat here, Bernie, let's stop pretending like the corporate media they started this and it's like a top-down driven narrative. Very much no. It is a bottom-up narrative because we all have eyes and we all have ears. So you are gaslighting us by trying to say, it's the corporate media from the top down that was pushing this narrative. No, reality pushed this narrative and we just reacted to it. Okay, this is like you're telling me to deny the evidence of my eyes and ears. That's what you're doing. You're telling me, forget what you saw. Don't even just relay in a factual way what you saw. Can't do that because that makes Biden sound bad, so shut up. Unacceptable. Yes, I know. Mr. Biden is old, is prone to gaffes, walks stiffly, and has had a disastrous debate with Mr. Trump. But this I also know. A presidential election is not an entertainment contest. It does not begin or end with a 90-minute debate. Okay, but here's the thing, Bernie. You don't want it to be an entertainment contest. I don't want it to be an entertainment contest. Anybody who's serious about policy does not want it to be an entertainment contest. But it kind of is. It kind of is. The whole point of the job is, I need people to like me. I need people to like me. I need people to like me. I need people to support me. I need people to believe in me. And Biden is giving us none of that. There's no liking him. There's no supporting him. There's no believing in him. He barely knows where the fuck he is. So in a sense, Bernie, it is kind of an entertainment thing. Now, again, I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. And we have to live in reality and react accordingly. We have to be objective. We have to be empirical about this. We can't just be so idealist that we say, I don't care that I'm running a hamster. The hamster is in favor of Medicare for all, so I'm in favor of him. Well, the hamster ain't going to win. He won't even get a vote, right? So what are we doing here? Mr. Biden may not be the ideal candidate, but he will be the candidate and should be the candidate. Really, should be the candidate. I wonder if Bernie brings up in this article that in Florida and North Carolina, they canceled the Democratic primary. I wonder if he brings that up, that they literally shut down democracy in those states to usher in the president, to give him a coronation. I wonder if he mentions that. I wonder if he mentions that the Biden team tried to move the New Hampshire primary from first in the nation. They tried to kick them back. Why? So they could put South Carolina first, so they could rig it up front. I wonder if he brings that up. I'm going to go ahead and say no. He should be the candidate, Bernie? Oh, please. And with an effective campaign that speaks to the needs of working families, he will not only defeat Mr. Trump, but beat him badly. Beat him badly. It's time for Democrats to stop the bickering and nitpicking. Okay, first of all, the idea Biden will beat Trump badly, that is literally the last scenario that's on the table. It is the statistically least likely scenario that's on the table. Biden winning in a landslide. It's just not there. This reminds me in like 2012 when a bunch of idiots the day before the election were predicting Mitt Romney's going to win in a landslide. Really? There's not a single poll that says that. Maybe the polls are off, and so Romney ekes out a victory, but not a single poll says that. So you're just fucking pulling that from your ass. I say the same thing to Bernie here. You're pulling this from your ass. And the idea that this is just bickering and nitpicking, no, this is substantive. The people who want Biden to step aside and have a different candidate are the ones who care the most about defeating Donald Trump because they don't think Biden can defeat Trump. It's that simple. Stop straw manning the people who are not with you on this. I understand that some Democrats get nervous about having to explain the president's gaffes and misspeaking names, but unlike the Republicans, they do not have to explain away a candidate who now has 34 felony convictions and faces charges that could lead to dozens of additional convictions, who has been hit with a $5 million judgment after he was found liable in a sexual abuse case, who has been involved in more than 4,000 lawsuits, who has repeatedly gone bankrupt, and who has told thousands of documented lies and falsehoods. All Bernie is doing here is explaining how it would be much easier for a Democrat not named Joe Biden to beat Trump. He has all these vulnerabilities and all these weaknesses, but oh, would you look at that? He's still significantly up on Biden. You're making my case for me. Supporters of Mr. Biden can speak proudly about a good and decent Democratic president with a record of real accomplishment. Okay, this is where you're losing me, Bernie. Now let's hear him out. He says, the Biden administration, as a result of the American Rescue Plan, helped rebuild the economy during the pandemic far faster than economists thought possible. At a time when people were terrified about the future, the president and those of us who supported him in Congress put Americans back to work, provided cash benefits to desperate parents, and protected small businesses, hospitals, schools, and child care centers. Look, every policy point he makes here is true, and I want to be clear about that. But again, the idea that he's a decent Democratic president, at this point, no. Why? He's arming and funding a genocide. 186,000 Palestinians are dead in Gaza because of his money and his weapons that he took. Our money, our weapons that he shipped to a genocidal maniac named Benjamin Netanyahu. So spare me with your fucking decency shit. Spare me. After decades of talk about crumbling roads, bridges, water systems, we put more money. Okay, yeah, he did infrastructure. Look, what Bernie is pointing out here is, hey, his economic record in the first half of his time in office was actually great. I'll give you that it was good. You know, I talked about it. 800,000 manufacturing jobs came back. Under Trump, we lost 200,000 manufacturing. That's just one example. You got the CHIPS Act. You got the infrastructure bill. You got a number of things. And look, I'm fair. I came out and gave credit where credit is due. That's what I do. I try to be honest. I try to be objective. I try to tell you the truth. I try to give you all the facts. But at this late date, let's not pretend that he's a decent and good man and he's the best one to beat Trump. He's not a decent and good man, and he's not the best one to beat Trump. His economic record may be okay, might be good, might have some good economic pieces of legislation. I even like that he pulled out of Afghanistan. I'll give him credit for that. Give him credit for reducing the drone war massively. But the genocide in Gaza overrides a hell of a lot. Genocide is not just a disagreement. It is the ultimate crime of crimes. That's what it is, and we need to start calling it what it is. And so my problem with Biden is genocide, and my other problem with Biden is he is the least capable of beating Trump. He can barely put together a sentence. A lot of doctors think he has Parkinson's. We covered that segment in detail. He's got some sort of issue going on. And here's Bernie trying to back him up. Now, I told you guys, I tell you why he's writing this at the end. You want to know why he's writing this? You're going to love this. You're going to love this. This is Bernie's idea of political chess. This is Bernie's idea of strategy. What he's doing here is snuggling up to Biden so that if Biden wins re-election, well, hey, who was backing you all along, Joe? It was me. It was AOC. It was various members of the squad. It was the lefties. It was the progressive caucus. We were the ones who never wavered and were always by your side. We're the ones you want to work with. That's what he's trying to do. Hey, if you win, come to us for the agenda. Now, by the way, Biden on the campaign trail recently, he listed a bunch of things. Oh, we're going to do this in a second term. And there's a bunch of good things, including we're going to eliminate medical debt. We're going to buy it up for pennies on the dollar. I've been screaming at Biden to do this for a long time now, right? But here's the thing. Why is he saying this now? He's president. He hasn't tried to do any of it before. Why is he talking about it now? He's talking about it now because he knows, hey, shit, I'm going to need some populist shit to try to get reelected. I got to get back in there. So now he's campaigning on it, pretending like he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. So by the way, if Biden were to miraculously win re-election, Bernie, he's going to stab you in the back instantly, just like he did before, and like he'll do again. So you think you're being some chess grandmaster here, some political Machiavellian genius. You're not. You're being a sucker. Even if he wins and your plan is going exactly as you want it to go, he ain't going to work with you. He ain't going to, oh, they were nice to me, so now I'm going to go with them. He's not going to do that. This is Joe Biden we're talking about. He has a track record of being a center-right Democrat. That's who he is. That's his politics. He's owned by the donors, and he has more in common with Joe Manchin than he has with you. Now, he's not as bad as Joe Manchin. Let me be clear. That's unfair to say he's as bad as Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin would have never done the economic stuff that Biden did in the first term, right? But the idea he's going to do these things he laid out the other day. He's not. And also, at this late date, yes, unfortunately, elections oftentimes are about vibes, not just policy. I wish it was all policy. It's not. It's a little bit of policy and a lot of vibes in this country. And the vibes are horrendous. And he ain't going to fucking win. So if he were to win, he's going to stab you in the back. But Bernie, I hate to tell you, there's an over 70% chance he's not going to fucking win. He's not going to win. And so then what was this for? Congratulations. You chained yourself to the deck of the Titanic as it sank. Congratulations. Real brilliant politicking you're doing here. And oh yeah, by the way, as a matter of principle, good on you for overlooking the genocide of Palestinians in Gaza to say he's a good and decent man. He is anything but that. And this op-ed here just shows you how much, whatever left flank there is, if you can call it that, in the Democratic Party, how much they are suckers. Because this is the biggest sucker shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.